Belmont, fugitive from federal justice, together with his unscrupulous gang, laugh at law and order.
They're lovely.
Worth a cool million.
A hot million.
Until Operator 99, Jerry Blake, America's ace investigator and an expert in disguises, is assigned to the case to crush once and for all these men who flaunt the authority of our government in Federal Operator 99.
Well, Blake, what shall it be? The cash for me or cremation for Miss Kingston?
I'll see what I can do.
Don't let him bluff you, Jerry. He wouldn't dare.
Oh, wouldn't I?
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Wednesday Night Scream Stream mini-sode. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friend, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
How are we doing tonight, Evan?
We are doing well here on this last Wednesday of the year.
It is indeed the last Wednesday of the year, the final installment of our mini-sodes for the year of 2023. This is it. It's
We're wrapping it up.
Wrapping up another year.
We're gonna solve it tonight.
Yep, it's halfway through. Turns out we're gonna find out who the Whispering Shadow is, and we're gonna get an entirely new mystery for the next 6 chapters. Really innovative storytelling.
Yeah, they're gonna pull a Twin Peaks.
Right, exactly. Well, hey, I mean, I'm in the camp that says that show got better after they figured out who did it. Okay, no, I actually don't feel that way.
I'm with you, Garrett.
Okay.
A lot of people poo-poo season 2, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I mean. And if you haven't seen The Return, then have you seen The Return, Evan? Twin Peaks: The Return?
Still haven't watched it.
Oh man, you're in for a treat, dude.
I need to return to Twin Peaks.
It's like 18 episodes.
I've been saving that one for a special occasion.
Yeah, man. It's pretty solid. I watched it when it was first on TV, and I watched it like each week. I was keeping up with it because I was, wanted to figure out what David Lynch was gonna pull out of his hat, and needless to say, he pulls out a lot. And scary stuff, funny stuff.
Turns out the real villain was Cheetos.
Yeah. Oh man, you better believe that Showtime spent a quarter of the budget on Twin Peaks: The Return solely on David Lynch's personal supply of Cheetos. If you don't know what we're talking about, then just look up David Lynch Cheetos and you'll be just as surprised as we were whenever we found out that David Lynch just has this weird thing for Cheetos, and he apparently doesn't understand how grocery stores work,
He's
as
just
Evan pointed
like
out.
us.
He
He's
is.
one of us.
He really is. I mean, just like us, he likes a salty, unhealthy snack. I mean, who can blame him?
Easy snack.
And I mean, especially right now, this is the time of year to be indulging in all your terrible snacks. Since New Year's is right around the corner, most people's resolution is to start eating healthy, eat clean. Well, then if that's the case, then now's the time when people are binging the things they love last minute
Yeah, you
before.
gotta pack those pounds on so you can work them off on the
Hmm.
new year.
Yeah, I mean, well,
I mean,
and
it's the last week of the year. Calories don't count. All bets are off.
you gotta load up. You gotta carbo load. You gotta just get, you want that goal to really be something like you want to make like a drastic change, so you got to really make sure you pad it up front with a lot of weight that then you can just
Yeah.
take right off and build your self-esteem that
Yeah, I think
way.
my strategy this year, I'm gonna carb load for a while, and then I'm just gonna go to sleep for like 3 months.
Okay, okay. I think that, yeah, I mean, it works for
I'm gonna
for
hibernate.
bears and other, you know, other animals, right? Hibernate. I
Yeah,
think
I think it'll
maybe,
work for me.
yeah, I think one thing that we learn every winter is that humans should be hibernating. Why aren't we hibernating? Why are we, you know, doing some of the busiest, most
Why
involved
are we still
things?
awake for this?
Why Christmas? Yeah, why Christmas when I should be sleeping? Um I mean, it just at a certain point you got to ask these questions. You got to draw a line somewhere, and sleep is paramount. So, but no, it is that time of the year. It's the end of the year, and we are at the end of 2023's public domain content. And this season for our minisodes, we've been enjoying The Whispering Shadow, and unfortunately, yeah, this will be our last installment of the year, chapter 6, which means that we're halfway through this 12 chapter serial. So we'll see. Chapter 6 is this the midpoint. You hope that they're pulling out some stops here, at least with the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so
Yeah, we've had some developments. We had a murder last episode.
right now, so Evan has been watching this serial like a hawk, and he's gone back and rewatched a
Been
few
very
episodes.
diligently following these characters.
Yes, somebody's got to. And Evan has been doing the good Lord's work. And did you rewatch the last episode, Evan?
I sure did because I did not remember it.
No, I can definitely say I do not remember it. So would you like to
Yeah, so
give us a recap?
little recap for the audience.
And me.
Okay, and Garrett. Okay, so where last we left our hero, Mr. Foster, he went to recover the jewels from Jarvis, who works for Steinbeck, who had the jewels, but then the bearded guy, the disguise, I think it was Dr. Strang in a
Yeah.
beard.
Dr. Strang, that wasn't
Uh,
Dr. Strang.
okay. Well, they said it looked like him, but I didn't
Yeah,
think it was supposed to be him. Okay.
yeah.
So whoever that was in the bad disguise murders Jarvis and frames Foster for the murder. And that's
Mm,
about as far as we got.
okay. Well, I mean, that was a lot up front. A lot to kind of lay out before we, you know, kind of got to the, I mean, what even was the cliffhanger?
Foster was chasing after the bearded guy, and the bearded guy has a little transmitter to
Yeah,
talk to the shadow,
right.
and he led him into like a dynamite field, or there was some kind of explosion, but I don't really get why
Oh
the car
yeah,
exploded.
that's right. That's right. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah. Kind of, the rules of this radio killing device are not always, you know, not always the most airtight, but at least they're trying to do something crazy and inventive. You got to give them that. But I mean,
Yeah, I'll take an explosion anytime I can get it.
yeah, and just from your recap alone, obviously we've already in that you mentioned like 3 or 4 suspects. There are more. You need a whole like cork board with you need a crime board behind you of all the suspects and uh the different interests and everything, with the yarn and all that stuff. Because that's
Yeah, I'll get that by next week.
yeah.
Get my
I
yarn
fully
out.
expect you to get that worked out because we need a visual aid to really be able to put this
That's the only
case.
way we're gonna figure out who this shadow
It's the
is.
only way we're gonna solve it. Really, we have to be able to put it in perspective. And each week I'm just coming to you, Evan, be like, all right, like what are we? Who are we following? Who's got the jewels and who's our new hot suspect and what's the it changes every week.
Yeah,
I
call
mean,
me Robert Raymond because I'm on the case.
well, you're doing a better job than he is. Every time I feel like we see him, he's just sitting around in somebody's office shooting the breeze until like, another crime happens. And then he shows up after the fact, like, oh, not doing anything. I'm
Well, he didn't get to become a world famous detective by putting his life on the line.
no, certainly not.
Like a survivorship bias kind of thing.
Oh yeah, he's definitely got some tricks up his sleeve that just aren't readily apparent yet. He's gonna, I don't know, maybe he's the shadow.
Now, wouldn't that be a twist?
That would be a twist. That would be good. I'd like it. If I'm calling it here at chapter 6, then I called it here first. You heard it here first. I'm guessing now maybe it's Robert Raymond. I'm gonna be wrong, but I've got to start guessing now. We're almost halfway through this thing. If I don't start lobbing at some suspects, then what good am I? I'm just sitting here, not contributing anything. So it'll be I gotta start scrutinizing. I gotta pull out my magnifying glass and my deerstalker cap and my big old pipe. Next week I'll have the whole Sherlock Holmes. I'll be all decked out and
Yeah, we'll find our clues.
we'll start really getting to the bottom of this thing. But I mean, this has been a pretty good mystery. I mean, for a serial, and granted, I mean, it's not like they're giving you a lot of clues, but I mean, it is like keeping you guessing each week. Who could it be? I don't know. You're not giving me enough to figure it out, but I'm interested.
Yeah,
So.
all we really know is that everyone is suspicious.
Everyone is except Jack Foster.
Yeah, and maybe Jarvis because he's dead, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, he's just faking it. We all know
It's
it.
all part of the plan.
Classic Jarvis. I mean, don't even get me started. I'm just now getting to the point where I can remember characters' names. I mean, obviously I remembered Lugosi. You're gonna remember Professor Strang. It's a great Lugosi character name. Even though I will say I feel like his screen time has been lacking in the last few chapters. I don't know, is
A
it?
bit, yeah.
But I mean, I
They
don't.
talk about him more than they show him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I should expect much more from him in the back half of this. I mean, I'd love for this to prove me wrong, but I mean, so far he's just he's set dressing, which fortunately happened to go see way too often. but he's still nice set dressing. He's still, he's doing all the Lugosi trademarks, all the eyes and the, the scowling and the, standing there with his arms crossed. He looks great. So we'll see if he's a little bit more of a player in tonight's episode, which I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Evan, what is the title of tonight's episode?
Tonight's episode is The Man Who Was Tsar.
The Man Who Was Tsar. Well, I guess that'll explain where these jewels came from, right? I mean, they are the Tsar's jewels. So, figure out what the Tsar is doing losing his jewels.
The Tsar himself is on the case.
Yeah, he's got a vested interest. His jewels are missing.
Yeah. I came all the way from Russia. Where are my jewels?
Oh no. He's not going to be happy when he pulls up and figures out. We don't know where are these? Do we know where these jewels are right now?
The guy with the beard has them.
That's
he stole
right.
them from Jarvis after he killed him.
And kind of Santa Claus looking. He's got a white beard, right?
He's
not fat.
Kind of a reverse Santa.
Yeah, he's a thief. He's wearing a tweed suit. Yeah, fedora. Yeah, definitely like anti-Santa. I mean, I guess if Santa...
Could his name be Nicholas? Like Tsar Nicholas?
Could be. We'll see. We'll see just who the Tsar is and what he's doing up Tsar. So trying for the last 3 minutes to think of wordplay for Tsar, and that's as much as I could get.
You got it.
Help Tsar, and only a select few will know particularly what that is a reference to.
If you do, we treasure you.
Yes, we really do. On that note, anything before we get into it tonight, Evan?
Do you think they saw him at the scene of the crime?
Yes. I think they did. They did indeed saw him. See, I can't think of.
We're doing great here.
I'm bombing. I need to think of more. I just can't. I'm grasping at straws in my mind right now. I'm trying so hard. That's why I have a nice open collar tonight, so I don't stretch it out too much. As I'm bombing here with these Tsar jokes. Well, on that note, Evan, if you have it queued up.
I do.
And we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting beginning of The Whispering Shadow, Chapter 6, The Man Who Was Tsar, right now. So we'll get a little recap here. Well, I mean, not much of a recap, but
took Jarvis off.
Well, I would hope. Are they just gonna keep whittling off names as people die throughout the rest of the serial? That would be great. By television. Agents by Television. There's another band name. Notably, Professor Strang, who hasn't been seen in some time. Jarvis. This is his obituary picture right there.
His eyebrows are looking a little thin.
Phone the police and tell them Foster killed Jarvis. And tell them you have the gun with Foster's fingerprint.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, there's our dude. Yeah.
Turn onto the south road. The trap is set.
But he's not the Shadow, right?
Well, the Shadow's talking to him, so presumably not.
Uh-oh.
They're going to blast! We can't stop now. It's our only chance to catch the Whispering Shadow.
We're gonna blow up.
Ooh. Damn.
Come on, boys. We got to stop them.
He said after the explosion.
They're coming after us. That's funny. They must know we weren't hurt, or we'd have stopped.
Uh-oh.
They're shooting at us.
Yeah, they're with the Shadow.
It's a trap. The Whispering Shadow.
It's a trap. Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
They're hiding in the brush. Scatter and find them.
Scatter, boys.
Hey, they got our car.
Uh-oh. Nice. Pull the old switcheroo.
Oh, they just got got.
That was a clever trick of yours. What good did it do? Whispering Shadow got away.
Who is that? Who is that?
But surely they can't suspect you of murdering Jarvis. With the evidence the Shadow's framed against me, they could hang me. Then you mustn't get back to town, but I
I love how somebody's just shaking the back of this car, just putting all their weight on it, making it look like it's moving.
Well, here's where I get off.
Oh, wait. I just thought of something that may have a bearing on the murder of Jarvis.
What?
I told you that Jarvis got away with the jewels, but I didn't tell you what else.
I'll make you pay for this, Jarvis.
Uh-oh, recap.
Well, where are the jewels? I didn't get them. Don't try any tricks on me. I know you've got them. I tell you I didn't. The girl, she was... What makes you think? You can double-cross me.
Uh-oh.
Steinbeck. I tell you, Mr. Steinbeck. Mr. Steinbeck. You were wandering on the phone. All right. I'll be there.
Steinbeck was covering him with a gun.
Steinbeck? Then he had reason to murder Jarvis.
Where are you going?
To the
Now,
warehouse.
finally,
Check up on
somebody
Steinbeck.
suspicious about Steinbeck. The most suspicious looking guy has been, like, the least suspected.
You'll both be called to testify at the inquest. Don't let anybody in that room until the coroner gets here.
Nice.
I was looking for Mr. Jarvis' room.
This is Mr. Jarvis' room.
Oh, thank you.
You can't go in there, miss.
Why not? I'm his sister.
His sister? Why, you see, miss, Mr. Jarvis had a bad accident and...
An accident? You don't mean he...
Yes, miss.
I'm sorry.
Hmm.
There now.
Yeah,
There,
you,
there.
Don't
you,
cry
you.
like
If you didn't
that.
want to get stuck with her crying, you should have foisted this duty off on somebody
Oh,
else,
let me
guy.
see him. Please don't keep me away from him. Now.
It's against the rules, miss. But, sure. You'll do no harm.
Got him.
Go ahead in, you poor darling.
What do you call her? You poor what?
We're darling.
I don't know. I guess it was darling. Kind of weird.
Here comes DuPont. What brings him back here?
Something must have gone wrong. You made a fine mess of your end of the job. Shh, be careful.
Didn't you get the jewels?
No. Foster butted in before I had a chance. That means they're still in the room.
Yes, and a policeman on guard at the door.
He didn't get the jewels.
Still a chance.
Oh, so he
The
did
room
get
next
the
door is empty, and there's a connecting door into Jarvis' room. You mustn't go. The policeman will get suspicious if he sees you with it.
Uh-oh.
This is a very nice room, sir.
Ooh. Out the fire escape. Hmm.
It isn't here. Did Jarvis put anything in the hotel safe?
Not that I know of. If he did, he'll have a receipt. Look through his pocket.
Not me. I wouldn't touch him for $1 million.
Oh, men are funny, DuPont. You had the nerve to kill Jarvis, and you're afraid to touch him now he's dead.
Who is DuPont? Is he just one of the Shadow's henchmen?
Jarvis' room?
I guess so.
Identify. I'm Mr. Bradley, and this is... Sorry, gentlemen, but my orders are not to admit anybody. But this is Mr. Raymond, the famous criminologist, a friend of the chief. Who's in there?
Only Mr. Jarvis' sister, sir.
Sister? Mr. Jarvis, have a sister. Open that door, boy.
That's why he's the best.
Must have gotten away by that fire escape. Who could she have been? We knew that. It helped us to clear Jack Foster.
Speaking of Jack Foster, what is he up to? Let's take a break right there. And I'm at 9:48. Break right there. And that was the first exciting half of the Whispering Shadow, the man who was Czar? Was that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, the man who was Czar. And so far no Czar. So that's a little bizarre, if I do say so myself. They got another one. There we go. Now we're hitting them. Now we're gonna start taking them off. But I mean, and we got a little bit of a recap, it seemed like. But I mean, so far, we had some nice snooping and some, some, I don't know, some good spy work, I guess, if you want to call it. But
yeah, stealing the henchman's car really got me.
That was a good bit. Yeah, that was.
I love that they didn't leave anybody behind to watch the car.
No, well, I'm classic serial henchman. They don't have brains technically. They're all smooth. So these guys, that's why they just follow orders. And as you can tell, there's not a lot of brain power in the bunch, unfortunately. That's how
Have
they
they done that bit before? That it feels familiar as like somebody has done that before. Something we've watched.
it feels like maybe in a comedy it's yeah, I could see it's I feel like we've probably seen that in something before. Although off the top of my head I can't think of what. But we've definitely seen some kind of car theft trickery going on at some points. But yeah, that was a nice little move on Jack Foster's part.
Yeah, he's a tricky one. He's crafty.
He's crafty and scrappy, and
He's got to be. He's a wanted man.
Is he wanted?
He's wanted for murder. The police think that he killed Jarvis.
Okay. It sounds like though that Robert Raymond was just saying that Jack Foster was clear based on some evidence they just found. I don't know if that's
if they find who killed Jarvis. When you got somebody like Robert Raymond in your corner, maybe wanted for murder. It's like a soft wanted for murder.
Yeah, well, back in those days, you could be wanted for murder, and you could be best friends with the detective who's hunting you down. You guys that's when you could play a game of cat and mouse, and it could be fun, and you don't have to worry about really hurting anybody outside of just little tit for tat globe trotting around. Fun little cat mouse game. The good old days when when being a criminal in this country was kind of cute, back when it was kind of glorified. The Depression, that's what it was. People I don't know, I mean, it's kind of different now, true crime then versus true crime now, but back then, bank robbers and all that, there was a little bit of a public fascination in a different way than there is with true crime now. But
yeah, we need to make let's make crime cute again.
You heard it here first. We need some cute henchmen, some funny bank robbers, with a sense of humor. Like, that's what we're missing. That's what the world needs. We need some funny criminals to kind of balance the scales a little bit, lighten the mood. I mean, it makes it more fun for the criminals. It makes it more fun for the police trying to catch the criminals.
Absolutely.
If your job's more fun for everybody, then it's just the world's just a better place. Think about that next time you're drawing up your master heist plan. Think about how you can make it fun for the people trying to catch you, and maybe that's just going to throw them off your trail even more because they're not expecting it. They're not, they're not expecting some jokey, you come up with some jokey riddles and some other things that are just,
Yeah, where are all the calling cards in the crimes nowadays?
Well, Home Alone kind of blew that up, I mean, once every kid...
That was cute crime. I mean... I wouldn't want to be at the,
What was cute about that, Evan?
Bandits. The fact that they have a shtick.
I mean, that part's cute, but the whole prepared to... What always freaked me out about the Wet Bandits was like right at the end when they've got, or at the climax, I guess, when they've got Kevin McAllister and Joe Pesci's about to bite off his fingers, and I'm like, holy shit, like these guys are like, it goes beyond cute to me after that point. When they're ready to bite off a kid's fingers, I'm like,
yeah, all right. Well, I mean, when you're watching that movie, you kind of have to put it out of your mind, like, what are they gonna do when they actually catch this kid?
Well,
'Cause,
that's what makes Home Alone 2 even darker, because they've got
yeah,
a gun. They're all ready to fucking take him out the middle of New York, pump him full of bullets, and then, tie fucking lead weights to him and let him sink to the bottom of the
it's
Hudson
a
River,
Christmas classic.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
gotta
watched
love
it
it.
over the weekend.
Yeah, I did too. You can't. I mean, again, and I hope everybody out there had a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday, and
You have
that's
filthy animals.
yeah, filthy animals. Yeah, that's not a real movie. That's a
I
classic
always
quote.
thought it was.
Classic quote now from a movie that doesn't exist, and a movie which itself is a classic. Yeah. Angels with filthy souls is what I think it's something with filthy souls. Uh so I you gotta love that. That's if I could just make a living making fake old movies, that would be sign me up for that.
Yeah, I'm the guy who makes the fake old movies that they
I'm
put
that
in the
guy.
other movies.
Yeah, I read a whole article about how they like filmed that, and just in a day on the same like set that they were like that the house was like, because I think the interior of the house was a set, and
Mhm.
so filmed it on the same set and made it look like a really old movie. um Holiday classic. You gotta love. I hope you all indulge in your holiday classics, anti-holiday classics. But we are moving on from Christmas. Christmas is here. It's
Yeah,
gone.
it's done. We're
Now
past it.
we're in our new. We're getting to the new year. So it's out with the old, in with the new. That's what that's plowing right ahead with. And on that note, we got to plow right ahead with the last Minnesota 2023. And before we do that, we're gonna get into a little break. We got two trailers for other serials which were directed by the stunt coordinator of tonight's film, Yakima Canutt. I talked a little bit about him before, I think in a previous chapter. Basically he's a legendary stuntman, like started as like a rodeo rider, ended up getting into stunt work in films, and ended up kind of becoming a pioneer for a lot of like western stunts and tricks, and like he was the kind of guy that would come up with new methods with how to do certain stunts, and would develop like special rigs and special equipment to make stunts easier. He was constantly like inventing things and coming up with things, and so he's also like one of the two main stuntmen in this serial, as he was for most of the serials made by the company that made The Whispering Shadow. Majestic? That's not right. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, he was kind of their main stunt guy, and any time you've seen anybody leaping or jumping or any kind of crazy thing, that was probably Yakima. And he basically ended up like doing a lot of serial work throughout the 30s, then ended up getting into like westerns with John Wayne, like being a stunt double for John Wayne. Apparently John Wayne like stole a lot of his like, not stole, but borrowed a lot of like mannerisms and things to kind of create the character of John Wayne. And but this guy ended up, obviously being a stuntman, broke like so many bones and like so much like, so had so many accidents that by like the mid 40s he ended up moving into directing, and he directed a bunch of serials. And so the two trailers that we're going to see, are the one we actually saw in the pre-roll was a serial trailer, a trailer for a serial he directed. And then this break, we're going to get 2 more trailers for serials that he directed. The first one is for a serial which is called I can't remember the name. I can't remember. It's some kind of mystery crime thing. Can't remember what it's called. I know the second trailer is for a Western serial called The Adventures of Frank and Jesse James. So I got 1 out of 2. That's not bad. You gotta, I knew I was gonna forget it too. I was like, this title's too convoluted for me to remember. I'm never gonna remember this. Sure enough. But you'll be able to see in these trailers, they're gonna showcase a lot of action, which obviously that was what Yakima, such a ridiculous name. That was what Yakima was known for, was crazy action pieces. So we're gonna get these 2 trailers, then we come back, we're gonna get into the exciting conclusion of The Whispering Shadow Chapter 6. So stick around, we'll be right back.
Mystery shrouds the identity of this fantastic madman who has the unfathomable power to transform himself into the legendary Captain Mephisto. To save the world from insane slavery, Lance Reardon, most fearless of all criminal hunters, and Claire Forrest venture on the most daring manhunt in history. Manhunt of Mystery Island.
All right, Captain Mephisto. This is it. As you so aptly put it, this is it. Take him, men. You were purposely led here in order that Miss Forrest might be made a prisoner.
Jesse James, the most fearless adventurers in the West, as they join the forces of law and order to prevent desperados from committing crimes in their name.
Now you sent for me to do a holdup for you. What's your game?
Mine happens to be a vein of gold as broad as your arm is long. Does that answer your question?
Sounds reasonable. I'll throw in with you. Are you ready to talk now?
No.
I'll give you exactly 1 minute to make up your mind.
Jesse! Jesse!
Stand where you are. Drop that knife.
And we are back. So that was a trailers for Manhunt on Mystery Island and the Adventures of Frank and Jesse James. And yeah, as you can see there in both of those trailers, a lot of action going on.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Pulse pounding.
Exploding. Yeah, like there were a fair amount of explosions in all three of those. Well, I didn't see the Manhunt of Mystery Island trailer, but the other two, they had some nice explosions in there. So
yeah, some nice fight scenes.
Yeah, which as I was telling Evan, that was another of Yakima's specialties, was like figuring out which angle to be able to like throw a punch for the camera so that it looked more realistic. And that was like his thing.
It looks a lot more heavy.
Yeah, a lot of his like stunts.
The fight scenes we've been getting out of like the fight scenes we've been getting out of this show in particular have been a little limp.
Yeah. Well, and that serial comes from the mid maybe late 40s. That might be like 48. So definitely by then that's like almost 14 15 years after what we're watching this season. So they had really come a long way in the in just like the profession of stunt people.
Yeah, there have been some big advances in fightology.
There, you say that jokingly, but it's true. There really had been. And Yakima would go on, like, continue to stay on, like, kind of helping find advancements in fightology and horseology for decades after those serials. We'll talk about that in another chapter, but it's pretty cool to think that, I mean, people who can have such a, but it's proven time and again, people who can have such an impact on the, like, certain effects or certain things in film, like they can start out working in little low budget things that people rarely see or know anything about, but you can work your way up from the low budget to the big time big time things. And opposite of Lugosi, as opposed to working in Poverty Row and getting stuck and never being able to get out of the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
some people actually did. But that's Hollywood for you. What are you gonna do? And speaking of Lugosi, we haven't seen him tonight yet. Shocker. Could have called it. Kind of did call it.
He called out. He's always calling out.
Calling out sick. But we all know what sick means. No, Lugosi was not into his his drug using days here yet. He was still sober as a judge. No, I don't know that he was. I mean, I'm sure he was still drinking, but the other stuff didn't come till later. So we'll see. We'll see if we get old sober Lugosi in this chapter, but probably not. I mean, again, I don't know. I think Lugosi worked on they shot this in like 14 or 15 days. I think Lugosi was on most of it, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see more of him later. This is still chapter 6. There's 6 more after this, so I'm going to get my hopes up really high that they just save most of his meaty stuff for the last few chapters.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
One last big misdirect. Because it can't be him, right? I mean, it could be, but the way they're hyping it up. Every episode at the beginning, they go, "It's probably strange."
Yeah, notably strange. Like, notably to who? We haven't seen him in 50 minutes. Like, why should he be notable? I mean, come on. It's a little.
He's just creepy.
I mean, again, it's one of the sad things about Lugosi's career. It's like, you have the man. Why don't you, say what you will about the quality of the Phantom Creeps. At least Lugosi was the bad guy playing a bad guy. Like, I appreciate the mystery element here, but if that means that you're kind of sacrificing Lugosi to be a red herring, then it's, it is a little bit of a, you're like, come on.
Yeah, you got the man, use the man.
Use the man.
He's down for it.
Of course he is. Could have done anything, any wild thing, and he would have said yes. So just wait till we watch Glenn or Glenda on the show, then you'll see what I. No, that's though when he really was down in the dumps and would take any work that came his way. But going too much on Lugosi, we may not even see him tonight.
Yeah, who's Czar? Who's gonna be Czar?
That is the lingering question, which has not been addressed in tonight's chapter so far, and it would be nice to know. But maybe this is one of those cases of title as cliffhanger, and it will be revealed, or almost revealed right at the end, but not. So I don't know. Any predictions for? You think the Czar's going to be somebody we know, or just?
Well, I'm still thinking Steinbeck. If he's had the most control over, or other than the Shadow himself,
he's pretty mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
He's definitely the most mysterious one of the bunch, but again, he's also been kind of off screen a lot, hiding a lot. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get.
Who knows?
Maybe we'll get a little bit, more of a clue into what Steinbeck is up to. But I mean, everybody wants these jewels. Everybody's got a reason. So I know why Steinbeck wants them. And on that note, Evan, if you've got it queued up.
I do.
And then we're going to go ahead and get into the exciting conclusion of The Whispering Shadow, Chapter 6, right now.
You're in the radio room.
Oh my God, the damn puzzle.
This guy cannot get it.
I can't get it.
Oh, I was so close.
Oh, Sparks, Steinbeck around? He went out and heard this morning, right after he had a phone call.
This guy's fucking huge, or everybody else is just really small.
Why? Go ahead. I'll watch the place till you come back. Will you? Gee, that's swell. I won't be gone long.
Won't be gone long.
I just got to go steal some jewels real quick.
I'd be really mad if it was him. What the hell?
Just gonna rip the door off the hinges? Well, he's wanted for murder, This isn't the time to be subtle.
Hell no. He should be tearing that room apart. He should be going nuts in there. I mean, he's a fugitive. He's a man on the run. There are no rules.
Yeah. He's shaking his head around.
What was that face he just made, by the way?
His shit-eating grin. Ooh, I just found something.
Oh, shit. Yeah, he found out what Steinbeck's up to. So I would love to see a more slapsticky bit where Steinbeck goes to open the door and it just falls on him. we were really deprived of that moment. Uh-oh.
Mr. Jerome, who did this? Slade. He thought I had the jewels.
The jewels.
Where did you get that? That's what I came to see you about. How did you know it was mine? Did you read any of my papers? Enough to find out that you're the pretender to the throne of... Well, Foster, now you know my secret. What are you going to do about it? That depends on you, Jerome. Are those the papers the Shadow threatened to publish if you didn't give him the jewels? Yes. Why? Then Steinbeck is the Whispering Shadow. Steinbeck? Yes. The man I've sworn to get because he killed my brother.
There it is. Motivation.
Just tell everybody.
Where have you been? Why didn't you meet me at Jarvis Hotel? I almost ran into a police trap.
I was there.
There
I
he
told
is.
the Jarvis sister, and I found this.
And Imperial jewels are in the hotel safe. Why didn't you claim them?
Because they found out that he didn't have a sister.
Then you must get them tonight.
Nice. Look at him go.
The Imperial jewels are in the hotel safe. See that you do not fail this time. Remember, I will be there. We will not fail.
What? They're just alternating between Lugosi.
Everything's all set for the Shadow when he comes. Wait here for me. all set.
What's she doing here? Why, she's the Shadow's daughter. What makes you so sure? None of us have ever seen the Shadow. And we can't afford to take any chances. I'm not a trailer.
You? What are you doing here?
Oh, it's you. I'm glad you're here. I know who killed Jarvis. It was Dewthorpe, one of the Shadow men.
Well, I've no time for that now. I'm going to get the Shadow himself.
Dad!
You swear my life away, will you?
I've got you at last.